and it's what's going on. They're calling it either the Great Resignation or the Big Quit.
Yeah.
We've talked a little bit about it when we go to restaurants and no one's there. Like there's no staff working and there's a shortage of this labor. And it's something like 2 to 3% of the U.S. like just people have quit their jobs. And in Europe,
turnover is insanely high.
Yeah. In Europe, it reaches as high as 6%. And this was coming out of COVID, right? So obviously there were all this job loss when COVID was at its, it's on a whatever wave now, but when the unemployment hit its all-time high during COVID, there was a lot of people out of work.
Yep.
They all came back, and then a bunch of them just decided to quit. And the long-term reasoning, like we don't really know the causes of that. A lot of it is, wages not keeping up with cost of life, worker satisfaction dropping.
Worker satisfaction is quite low. Like in general.
Yeah. Change of mentality, change of priorities. Even the fact that you just were sitting at home for a while and maybe realize some other interests and how good it is to just sit at home. Then you have to go back to your crappy job. Like
a lot of new opportunities. I think people they were at home and they might have started a little business that worked.
This
out.
is the thing.
Yeah.
Like the gig culture now is way different than it used to be. And I'm sure, well, we don't have any older listeners, but if they did, they would probably give examples of how people did stuff back in the day too. But I can't imagine a time, at least in my, the last couple decades, where there were this many people piecemealing.
Working in the metaverse.
Well, but you say that just, but okay, dabbling in one thing over here, maybe an investment sort of thing, and then doing this side hustle where they, make and sell or distribute or resell.
People were forced to look at different options and also reflect on what they had going on.
And what they wanted to do.
Exactly.
Right? Especially if you're not going to pay people enough to afford them the quality of life that they want. Well, it's kind of like if I'm going to work for less money, I might as well do it of something that I really enjoy.
I was going to say, what's really good about this? It's forcing up, for people, it's forcing up wages.
Totally. It's also leading to things like, they called it, what did they call it? Striketober. All right. So in October, like the most strikes in America was kind of happening simultaneous to one another. And a lot of people viewed all of the quitting at the same time as kind of a strike action in itself. These were people walking off jobs in one way or the other to protest, wages, quality of life. And it's kind of the biggest mass union action that we've seen in a long, long time. And the one that stood out for me is that, everyone knows Starbucks, man. There's so many Starbucks out there. And 3 of them in Buffalo, of all places, just ran unionization votes. And Starbucks came in and they actually inserted managers at these locations and moved some staff away from these locations to try to break it up. And one location was unsuccessful in the union vote. They lost, they being the would-be unionizers. Another location, I guess, the vote was still being tabulated, which I don't quite understand. When I looked into it, sure.
How many votes?
But another Starbucks in the Buffalo area successfully unionized. And this is big just symbolically. But if they made that headway at these 3 locations,
it's going to spread.
Yeah. Starbucks can't go in there and try these little passive aggressive ploys across all the Starbucks locations.
Yeah.
So there's something really interesting going on with a labor movement, across the world that maybe we haven't seen in a while, even though unionization's at probably an all-time low. These things go in ebbs and flows. But anyway, it's just interesting times for labor. And that's another thing that you have to start thinking about if you really want to be a business owner.
That's a big one now.
And start scaling.
It's a huge one now.
I think there was even a small barista group here in Halifax that looked at unionizing, I think. And I'm pretty sure the owner just went ahead and closed
the location.
The coffee shop.
I'm not into that.
So the joys of being a
business owner. Yeah, there's a lot of factors involved. And like you said, being a business owner, the biggest thing is kind of running the people. Once you go past that self-employed stage or sole proprietor stage.
When I was broke, I had rich habits. When I was broke, I had rich habits.